You're not struggling. The economy is booming. Yeah, you've heard that one before. The stock market's at record highs, and you're out here doing math on groceries versus gas. It's like being told the house isn't on fire while you're literally coughing up smoke. So give me 7 minutes, and I'll show you exactly why you're broke. And spoiler, it's not because of the lattes. Because here's the thing. You are working harder than your parents ever did, and the data backs it up. Productivity is up 246% since 1948. Pay? Up 115. Your grandpa fed a family of 4 on one factory paycheck. No degree required. You? Dual incomes, multiple degrees, probably a side hustle. And somehow, you're the lazy one? See, the economy gaslights you daily. GDP grows, unemployment drops, and yet 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Make it make sense. Look, the prosperity they keep measuring is real. It's just not yours. The top 10% own 89% of all stocks. So when they say the economy is doing great, they're not lying. They're just not talking about your economy. Work smarter, not harder. Cool advice. Except you're already doing both and still falling behind. You produced twice what a worker did in the 1970s. The reward? You get to compete with 500,000 other applicants for a job that pays less, in real terms, than it did 40 years ago. Productivity gains for me, not for thee. And then they wonder why quiet quitting became a thing. You're not quiet quitting. You're refusing to donate free labor to companies posting record profits while crying that they can't afford raises. That's not lazy. That's math. You're the most productive generation in history, earning the least relative to your output. Now let's talk about the house you're never buying. In 1970, the median home cost 2.5 times the median income. Today? 7.5 times. But sure, just save harder. Your parents bought their first home at 25. The average first-time buyer now? 40. 40. Not a typo. You're not skipping home ownership by choice. You're being priced out of existence. You need $141,000 a year to afford the average home. The actual median income? $70,000. So you need to be rich to afford average. Oh, and investment firms now own 1 in 7 homes in America. They're not buying them to live in. They're renting them back to you at prices that guarantee you'll never save a deposit. Evil? Yes. But genius. Your grandparents got 30-year mortgages. Your generation gets lifetime rentals. The American dream didn't die. It got murdered and relaunched as a subscription service. Then there's the degree they made you buy. Just go to college, they said. You'll make more money, they said. So you did everything right and ended up $37,000 in debt for a job that demands a master's and pays like you dropped out. Fun fact, today's college graduate has the same purchasing power as a 1980 high school graduate. 4 years and 40 grand. For that? Jobs your parents got with a high school diploma now demand a bachelor's. Same job, same pay, just more debt. 37% of workers are overqualified for what they do. But try getting hired without the paper. Sorry, we require a bachelor's degree to answer phones. Since 1980, college costs are up 1,200%. Wages? $260. If minimum wage had grown like tuition, it would be $36 an hour. It's $7.25. They convinced an entire generation that education was an investment. Turns out it's a debt trap with a graduation cap. Next stop, the Wage Stagnation Express, where the numbers go up and your buying power goes down. The minimum wage in 1968, adjusted for inflation, was worth more than today's. We literally went backwards. Your mom's teenage McDonald's job had more purchasing power than your adult job with a degree. Progress. Since 2018, housing costs rose 40%. Wages? 28%. And they wonder why 58% of Gen Z can't meet basic needs. I mean, have you tried not eating? The median worker now needs 53 hours a week to afford what 40 hours bought in 1975. That's not work-life balance. That's work-work balance, with life as a guest star. Meanwhile, corporate profits hit record highs. CEO pay is up 1,322% since 1978. Your pay? Up 18%. They're not struggling to pay you more. They're choosing not to. And the cherry on top? Student loans. The only debt that survives bankruptcy and follows you to the grave. That's not a bug. That's the feature. You can't skip college because jobs require degrees. But going means debt you can't escape. That's charging admission to a mandatory event, then pricing the ticket above anything you'll earn inside. Checkmate. The average payment? $500 a month. $6,000 a year. For decades. That's a house deposit, every few years, spent on staying employable. What a system. Perfectly designed. Just not for you. Be your own boss, they said. Translation: be your own HR, accountant, marketer, and janitor. 0 benefits. All the risk. 58% of Gen Z does gig work out of necessity. That's not entrepreneurship. That's desperation with LinkedIn marketing. Your Uber driver probably has a master's degree. See, the gig economy isn't replacing jobs. It's what people do because jobs don't pay enough. You work 40 hours that don't cover the bills, then 20 more driving strangers around for rent money. That's not hustle culture. That's survival culture with better marketing. And the platforms take up to 30% of every dollar. No benefits, no security. You were sold independence. You got exploitation with extra steps. By the way, subscribing to this channel is free, and I take 0% of anything. Just saying. Meanwhile, Instagram has you convinced that everyone else is thriving. Plot twist, they're all broke too, just with better photo editing. 93% of Gen Z compares themselves on social media. You're measuring your real life against everyone else's highlight reel. That vacation? Credit card debt. That apartment? 3 hidden roommates. The average person spends $18,000 a year on non-essentials, with $1,000 in savings. Spending money you don't have to impress people you don't know. And here's what nobody posts. The anxiety attack while checking your balance. The creative math for rent. The ramen after the brunch photo. Social media turned being broke into performance art. Everyone's pretending, while quietly Googling bankruptcy lawyers. And no, this isn't a conspiracy. It doesn't need to be. The system runs on autopilot now. Can't afford college? Take loans. Loans too high? Work more. Working more? No time to build skills. No skills? Lower wages. Lower wages? You rent forever. Every piece feeds the next one. A perfect machine moving wealth from the young to the old. 5 companies own everything, so they don't even need to meet to agree on maximum extraction, minimum pay. Non-compete clauses trap 30 million workers. Unions got gutted. At-will employment keeps you scared. They built a prison and convinced you it's freedom. You're being successfully harvested. Just think positive. Right. Let me positive think my way out of systemic exploitation. Gen Z depression rates are 50% higher than older generations. Must be the phones, definitely not the mathematical impossibility of a normal life. Listen, you're not depressed because you're weak. Your nervous system correctly identified that you're trapped. Your brain works fine. The economy doesn't. And the cruelest part? Money stress literally rewires your brain. Worse decisions when you're stressed, which keeps you poor, which keeps you stressed. Bootstrap your way out of that. Keep them tired. Keep them desperate. Keep them competing instead of questioning. So, we're screwed? Not quite. Understanding the game is step 1. You're not failing. You're being farmed. And only one of those means it's your fault. Here's the truth they don't want trending. You can't budget your way out of poverty wages. And you can't side hustle your way out of inequality. Every win workers ever got, the 40-hour week, the minimum wage, the weekend, came from organizing, not from grinding harder. So stop comparing yourself to your parents' timeline. Different game, different rules. Build community, share resources, question everything. Now, I'm not going to end this with something cheesy like, you've got this. You might not have this. That's up to you. But the game only works while you play by their rules. So, are you done playing? I mean, you tell me.